Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the actual science of sports nutrition to uncover a seriously counterintuitive truth about your performance. We're looking at a massive, comprehensive review on micronutrients. And honestly, what the data reveals, it might literally change the way you fuel your body forever.
So think about this. We naturally assume that if a little bit of, say, vitamin C or iron is good for you, then massive doses must be incredible, right? Well, actually, no. For athletes who are already well-nourished, those megadoses might literally be sabotaging our hard work. You could be grinding it out in the gym or on the track, only to have your post-workout supplement routine actively working against your body's natural ability to adapt and grow stronger. Crazy, right?
To get to the bottom of this, we're going to quickly break down 6 key areas. We'll look at the athletic supplement myth, iron as your oxygen engine, how antioxidants actually blunt cellular signals, vitamin D, calcium, and finally, the food-first approach.
All right, Section 1, the athletic supplement myth. Let's take a quick look at how common this practice actually is in the athletic community to set the stage. Studies show that roughly 50% of athletes use vitamin or mineral supplements. Think about that. Half of all competitors out there are actively popping these isolated nutrients. Mostly, they're just trying to correct perceived deficiencies or artificially speed up recovery. And hey, the intent is great. Everyone wants to optimize their health and get that competitive edge. But as we're about to see, good intent doesn't always equal biological reality.
So it all comes down to this really crucial concept, the Goldilocks Principle. Taking too much of a supplement can actually impair the body's natural physiological response to exercise stress. You see, the physical stress from your workout is exactly what tells your body to grow stronger, faster, and more resilient. If you're constantly flooding your system with high-dose supplements, you might be artificially shielding your body from the exact stress it needs to adapt.
Moving on to Section 2, iron, the oxygen engine. Let's see how high-intensity training uniquely disrupts how our bodies process this critical mineral. Okay, what's genuinely fascinating here is the role of a little hormone called hepcidin. It's a 25-amino acid peptide hormone that completely controls how much iron your body absorbs and releases. But here's the catch. Hepcidin spikes due to the natural inflammation of exercise. It usually peaks about 3 to 6 hours after your workout. Basically, your body is slamming the door shut on iron absorption precisely when you'd think you'd need it most.
It's like a giant biological roadblock. Hepcidin limits iron release back into your systemic circulation by targeting ferroportin, which is basically the cellular export channel. So when hepcidin levels are high post-exercise, it just traps the iron inside your macrophages and enterocytes. This perfectly explains why athletes with consistently high training loads are at such a severe risk of iron deficiency. They're losing iron through sweat and cell damage, but their own post-workout inflammatory response is actively stopping them from absorbing new dietary iron to replace it.
So how do we hack this? Well, for those who are actually diagnosed as deficient by a pro, taking oral iron supplements requires some really strategic timing. If you take them on alternate mornings, you can bypass those exercise-induced hepcidin spikes completely. By doing this trick, research shows you can boost your serum ferritin by a massive 40 to 80% over a 12-week period. So it's not just about taking the pill, it's about outsmarting your own hormones. All right, Section 3, antioxidants, blunting the signal. Prepare yourself, because this is perhaps the most surprising finding in this entire explainer. For decades, we've been told that oxidative stress and free radicals are the ultimate enemy, right? We think we need to neutralize them immediately. But here's the reality. During exercise, these reactive oxygen species are actually essential signal flares. When you really push your muscles, they generate these molecules. And they aren't just damaging byproducts, they are the exact chemical messengers that tell your body it's time to adapt. Honestly, it's like a fire alarm that tells the cellular firefighters to show up and rebuild your muscles even stronger.
And this completely flips how we usually think about supplements. Taking massive doses, like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, acts like a massive fire hose. You end up putting out that signal flare before the muscle ever gets the message to adapt. Sure, you might reduce a little muscle soreness in the short term, but you're actively blunting your cellular signaling and mitochondrial biogenesis. Whole foods, on the other hand, they provide this perfect synergy. They give you just enough antioxidant protection to stay healthy without muting your body's natural adaptation response.
Let's pivot to Section 4, vitamin D, sunshine, and strength. This is a totally unique nutrient because over 95% of our supply comes from our own endogenous production, not our plates.
It's a wildly elegant 5-step process to create active vitamin D.
It starts with UVB radiation hitting a compound called 7-dehydrocholesterol right in your skin. From there, it undergoes this heat-induced isomerization, moves through your liver for its first hydroxylation, and finally travels to the kidneys to become the active calcitriol form. Because it's synthesized through this complex chain, it actually acts a whole lot more like a hormone than a traditional vitamin.
And since it relies so heavily on sun exposure, certain groups of athletes are at a massive risk of deficiency. I mean, if you're a gymnast training indoors all day, a winter sports competitor, or an athlete with very dark skin that naturally blocks UVB radiation, your natural production drops off a cliff. And this matters immensely. A deficiency here can seriously compromise your muscle strength and dramatically increase your risk of catching upper respiratory tract infections.
Next up, Section 5, calcium, building the foundation. This is a mineral that's absolutely fundamental to muscle contraction, and athletes lose it rapidly through their sweat.
Now, obviously, popping calcium pills isn't going to magically make you sprint faster, but hitting your daily dietary targets, like 1,000 milligrams for adults, is non-negotiable. And for adolescents who are still building their skeletons, they need 1,300 milligrams. Hitting these targets, ideally through highly bioavailable sources like dairy, is absolutely critical for achieving peak bone mass. If you don't lay down this solid foundation now, you're putting yourself at a huge risk for career-ending stress fractures down the line.
This brings us to Section 6, the food-first approach. This is the ultimate unifying concept that serves as the true anchor for all athlete nutrition.
The science confirms it over and over again. The natural nutrient matrices found in whole foods, plants, dairy, lean proteins, they just work better. They deliver vitamins and minerals in the perfect, naturally occurring ratios that human bodies actually evolved to process. This means supplementation should really be a highly targeted surgical tool for specific diagnosed deficiencies, like timing your iron to dodge hepcidin rather than just some daily blanket strategy that might be pouring water on your hard-earned cellular signal flares.
I absolutely love this quote from the literature review because it just completely cuts through all the supplement marketing hype. It beautifully summarizes the biological reality. Currently, the balance of the literature suggests that micronutrient supplementation in well-nourished athletes does not enhance physical performance. Basically, if you're already eating a balanced, colorful diet packed with whole foods, throwing massive megadoses of synthetic micronutrients on top of it, it's just not the secret to unlocking elite performance.
So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. Take a really close look at your own nutritional routine today. Are you truly fueling adaptation with a targeted food-first approach? Or are you accidentally blunting the very gains you're sweating so hard for with a blanket high-dose supplement strategy? The science is super clear, and the power to optimize your physiology is entirely in your hands. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning what you think you know.